Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 166 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your dungeon master, no one else, and joining me are my players, whose names are...
Hello, I am Ben.
And no one
I
else!
play the level 8 gnome wizard, Mr. Wallaby, along with his still dead cat, Mr. Wiggles.
Fucking rip in peace,
no
you
one
dumb
else.
cat. Dead. No one else.
Hi, it's me, Carla, and I am the brainchild to Integrity Idleberry, the level 8 tiefling roguelock. And
Integrity made you?
no, I'm the brain mother.
You're the brain
to
mom.
Integrity
Brain
Idleberry.
mother.
That's a character from Metroid. Oh shit.
Sweet creature had another fight, and now everything is wrong. Though we're young, you've been beat this time around. Win where we belong.
Yeah, that was some lyrics.
Hello, I'm Sarah, no one else, and I play
No
Mira
one else!
Marchand, the level 8 half-elf bard. You know, on the plus side of Mira probably waking up in medbay, it's the perfect opportunity for a costume change.
Ooh.
Hey everybody, it is me, the one and the only Sam. And
No
I play
one
the level 8 human
else!
Sarah Cinderman. And guys, we did it. We fought kids. And we won.
You did. The fucking
Congratulations.
streak continues.
Congratulations.
And last time, congratulations. And last
Congratulations.
time on Trials and
Congratulations.
Trebuchets, the students witnessed a marriage heal itself through the power of song as the Wraithrons left the gala in each other's company to wander the campus together and rekindle their romance. And maybe Elric will never be seen again, but so fucking what? He did it. More importantly, however, the four students, Sereneth, Winsler, Integrity, and Mira, Swim, held their own against an uncoolified Joan and her team of schmucks, barely pulling out with a W and unseating the reigning champs in the progress, making history by the day, these folks is. We are recording this on a fucking weekday, and I can feel it.
This is a great
We
energy,
are-
though. I love that.
So chaotic.
We are in the gala venue. The final flag was just picked up by one Idleberry.
That's a lot of eyes.
Yep. I mean, technically,
I
that
have
is
two in
two
my face.
eyes
I-
and Idleberry. And then the birds were actually cheering you on during the entire thing, but they're outside of the ice block.
Focus.
And the duel was called there. In Sereneth and Integrity, the sole survivors and inheritors of Swim's win, I guess, stood on the battlefield, the arena, this icy steering wheel arena, together with their rival, the ever-cool Joan Evelyn Kingsley. Sereneth and Integrity, if I recall, the two of you are very beat up.
Yeah.
In this moment, after Professor Haas has called the duel, and people are cheering, hooting, and hollering for the two of you, because this is a massive upset, and people go fucking wild for that shit. Could you tell me what the two of you are doing? How the two of you are feeling? Do you talk to one another?
I if I recall last episode, I said that I am lying on the ground, catching my breath because I'm very tired. At this point, I think I have like metagaming. I only have like a few hit points left.
Knowing how many hit points you have
So-
left is not metagaming, Carla.
Okay. Like I have like 9 hit points left. So I'm like very exhausted and catching my breath, lying on the ground, staying cool from the ground.
Of course.
Ice ground.
I think Sereneth is kind of doing the same thing. Like, she's sat down and she's like resting her forehead against like the ice underneath her feet.
Yeah.
She's at like 4 hit points and she's
Yeah.
just like breathing and like getting ready to have to start moving again. Like, her muscles ache. She's just like, I don't want to move right now.
Absolutely. So as the two of you recuperate, we can see Joan close by to you, Sereneth, like standing a couple feet behind you, I think, if I recall properly.
Mhm.
And she is staring up at the onlookers, the audience, the people cheering not for her, but for the two of you, and presumably your two teammates who are no longer here with us in this moment. And as she stares at them, there's just this like expression which crosses her face. Like her face is drawn tight as she watches all of these people, more or less paying attention to people other than her. And she will turn her gaze to the two of you, sitting and lying on the ground close to one another, all grasping flags. And she will call out to the two of you, such that the two of you can hear, but the others, like the loving fans, cannot. And she will say, "What did you do to me? Why couldn't I use my magic?"
What makes you think that we did it?
There's, and she sighs. She looks dejected. She looks, I think, a good word would be shattered.
Oh,
Like
shit.
everything's crashing down for her in this moment. And she'll say, "No one else had any reason to. The upper years who we would have been fighting would have wanted to win fair. It's only the four of you who had no chance."
What do you mean play fair?
I mean on a good day, a day that I had actual powers, that no one tried to do any funny business, that I could take the four of you by myself, no problem, and that you did something underhanded.
Serena just pushes herself to like this proper sitting. Like, I mean, you're definitely a strong opponent, but I don't really know what to tell you.
She stares into your eyes for a few tense seconds, Serenupth Cinderman, and then will shut them and kind of look down, visibly disappointed, and will say, louder, with a more performative tone, "Well, I guess all I can say is congratulations. I hope you win the next one too for our sake." And will put on her best charming smile and then turn quickly and exit the arena. And you see her generally making a moving quickly as if she intends to leave the gala venue altogether. You see near the perimeter of this dance floor where the arena is, if you recall, that there is a kind of tiefling man. He has a very, very open button shirt, and just like generally is he looks to be like wearing quite revealing clothing for a very professional gala, and wearing like crescent moon glasses. And you see him like try to go over and speak to her, presumably consoling her, and she just brushes him off and moves past, leaving.
Poor Todd.
Poor Todd Gonzalez, trying to be a good mentor figure to his team of hot students. But as Joan Evelyn Kingsley leaves you here, the applause kind of begins to fade, and a voice booms, that of Headmaster Crow, and it says, "What an upset! I have to hand it to our impeccable first years. They are cut from a different cloth, it would seem, if this year is anything to go by for the four of them. As our first semi-finalists, it is my honor as headmaster or as our first finalists, I should say, the winners of the first semi-finals, it is my honor to award you another prize purse, 955 gold coins to commemorate our new year. Spend it however you wish, and our thanks to Ogre Snot Craft Beer for generous sponsorship of the Autumn's End Festival."
Integrity jumps
and
up.
Integrity
Almost
The reward
immediately.
is so much more than the last time.
Yeah.
She's not
Integrity-
dying anymore.
Integrity jumps up. The two of you see coming from the icy walls. There's these icy attendants all around the place, almost like in enchanted stacks of ice skating around upon the floor. And they're carrying out, two of them together, a icy tray with a large trophy upon it. It contains hundreds, almost 1,000 gold coins, just 45 shy of 1,000 gold coins for the two of you. And it will be nicely, gently pushed out to the two of you, Serenupth and Integrity, to take and do with as you will.
I totally forgot we had another fight after this.
Meanwhile, Integrity is going to like dip her face on the coins and just like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to have this much money on your face.
Integrity, everyone's watching you.
Gold.
Yeah, Serenupth, you say, like, I didn't know we were having I forgot we were having another duel after this, as your cousin face plants into hard, cold gold. The two icy attendants hold it aloft for you, waiting for you to take it, but they are magically bound to hold it until you do so. So you can just bury your face in it like a fictional ostrich as much as you'd like. However, during this time, Sereneth, you look around and do see that there's some 6th years and 7th years, the next duelists who are gathering round and starting to begin their prep. And Headmaster Crow continues on with his spiel, introducing that and getting the general audience ready. But that commotion is not of your attention, I would say. But could you give me perception checks to see if other stuff is?
No problem.
Nat 1 plus 6. That's a 7, please.
Oof.
Why are you rolling that ones now when it's a perception check? Why not?
It's the money, man. It's the money.
It's too distracting, too nice.
I got a 16.
Okay. Sereneth, as Crow gives the spiel and kind of really butters up these 6th and 7th years, you see a couple of attendants rush out and begin to repair the arena from where it had melted a little bit at fiery spells cast in your duel. You see Haas walking back and forth between the two next set of duelists, and critically, Sereneth Cinderman, you hear someone from the balcony watching above, that little audience crowd gathered, who is saying, "Integrity, integrity, integrity."
Integrity. Someone's calling for you up there.
I look up.
Sereneth, you jostle your cousin. Her face emerges nice and chilled, as if she's just rolled some cold stones on her face at a spa and done some nice self-care. And Integrity, you can look up along with Sereneth and see a woman standing. Her mask is in her hand and not on her face. And she's standing next to two young kids who are just kind of hanging out, watching. Integrity and Sereneth, you see Integrity's mother, Amaret. She's wearing a plum kind of dress and is calling out for you, Integrity, and is looking at you as well, Sereneth Cinderman. And she's making the very universal hand sign of come here.
Okay.
I take the money
here
and
sign.
start moving.
Yeah, Integrity's mom just saw her rubbing gold all over herself.
Absolutely. Integrity, you grab this icy cup and hold it aloft. And are you going to bring Sereneth with you? And are you both going to put your masks back on?
I am, yes, going to bring Sereneth with me.
Okay.
Because she's calling for the both of us, it seems like. And I know that they also need to talk. And I am going to wear my mask back on.
Okay.
I will
perfectly.
put my mask back on as well, yeah.
Excellent. So some people notice the two of you putting your masks back on, which isn't a super big deal in terms of identity stuff. Your mother does, and so the illusion magic does so fail upon her. And the two of you can climb some icy stairs and reacquaint yourselves with Integrity's family, who is here, as the other duelists begin to do their thing. Elsewhere on campus, we are in an infirmary. There's an uncomfy bed beneath your back. Winsler, your eyes open up. It feels like you're home. This is
My favorite place.
This is, the place to be for Winsler Wallaby. And Mira, the beds are kind of uncomfy. You both wake up to healers kind of, actually one healer kind of looking over the two of you, and over the course of a couple minutes, they will feed you potions. They actually bring you a small metal mugs filled with a raspberry smelling potion, as opposed to the regular glass bottle of healing potion that is regularly given to you. And as you sip it, there's an extra little bit of tang in this one. And it seems like there are a couple more healers than regular here in the infirmary, almost like they're having a little shindig or something tonight, which is, as expected on a gala night. And the two of you can recuperate. You can roll 4d8 plus 4 in terms of hit points.
48.
That's a lot of hit points.
That's a lot of hit points.
So that's 26. Cool.
Perfect.
Let me make note of
10.
that.
Are you fucking
Holy
kidding
shit,
me?
dude.
Bruh.
10. I rolled 2 2s and 2 1s.
Oh
I got 10 hits.
Magnificent.
You're to kill.
Whatever they put in this is not doing it for me.
You could make, if you wanted to know what's in it, you could make medicine or nature checks. As you sit here and kind of sip at this stuff, the healers don't really pay you any mind. Although Mira, a couple might glance at you a bit kind of like shyly out of the corner of their eyes. You might hear them, like see them whispering to one another and making sly pointing at you very slyly. But I don't know if you can probably make assumptions about what that is for. But if you wanted to ascertain what's in this potion, it's not super important, but you could if you wanted. Nonetheless, do the two of you say anything to each other, or are you just kind of recuperating in this time and waiting?
Well, I don't see Integrity and Serenep here, so I guess that means we won.
I'm always usually in here when it happens, so I always just go under the assumption that y'all win.
Yeah.
So I assume Integrity and Serenep were capable enough to, handle what happened.
Yeah, no kidding. They're great. I mean, I got knocked out in that very first fight we did, like, weeks and weeks and weeks ago, but I kind of forgot how it felt to just get knocked out like that. This sucks.
I would say first time, but it's not true.
Yeah.
As the two of you speak, the doors to the infirmary do so creak open, and in walks a tall elven man wearing a nice gray overcoat over his raggedy formal clothes. Artist Artesian walks in. I was gonna say scampers, but that's not proper.
Scampers?
He's not scampering or scuttling in.
Isn't Scampers your character in Vultures then?
Artist Artesian walks into the infirmary, looks around for 2 seconds, and locks onto the two of you, and hurriedly makes his way over to you, lying in bed or sitting up at this point, and will say, "Great news for the two of you. Serenep and Integrity won
Yeah,
the entire thing. They got.
we
I
kind
knew
of
they could
figured
do
because
it.
they're not here.
Yeah.
Are the two of you doing all right? That looked to be a fairly severe thing."
Oh, this is nothing.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough hit, but the weird raspberry juice helped.
I've handled worse.
It was my first time watching the four of you duel since you've been my actual students, and it went well. I think
We've gotten better.
I'm sure. I mean, they were very tough opponents, so I'm sure it was the best to be done. I mean, you all won, so I'm sorry. You did excellently, and you've done great. You've grown a lot in the past year. That's mentorly to say. Back to the gala. Should we go back to the gala? I just came to make sure.
Will they let us out this soon?
I don't see why not. And he looks over his shoulder at the healers. They're kind of like, you can see them. They have mugs of this raspberry smelling potion and they're sipping it very casually and chatting with each other bubbly there seems to be about 8 healers in here all together. And he looks over his shoulder at them and doesn't seem to say anything about it, but he turns back and he says, I'm sure they'll have no problems letting you out already.
I mean, we could probably just leave.
Hey, do you
telling them.
think they'll let us grab some of those for Serenep and Integrity? We're supposed to have another fight after that, which, but sure. Do you think they'll let us take some?
I didn't finish mine. I could give mine away. I don't think raspberry really does. I don't think I like it that much.
That's fair.
Yes, I'm sure you could pick stuff up. I mean, you're students here. It's not as if you're not entitled to it. But I came because I don't know if you heard from the observers before the duels, but apparently there have been some problems. I know this was already presenting itself with the last set of duels where anyone who was being knocked unconscious wasn't going to the preparatory rooms, but instead going to the infirmary. So they just sent me here to just ensure that everything was going well with the kind of wards.
That's probably why I woke up here last time.
Oh,
That would explain it.
that is weird. Where are the other team? Because they're not here either.
Yeah, you look around, and you are the only two. Let's say that there's one other person in the fucking infirmary, just so it isn't lame as fuck.
Someone had an allergic reaction or something.
Yeah, they have
What are you doing here? I threw up.
someone has a tummy ache over
One
in
of the
another
Patreon NPCs who actually filled out the allergies section on the form.
I got stung by a winter bee.
Nonetheless,
They got
It is-
stung by Terrence.
Nonetheless, it is there is no other dueling combatants here, which is important observation. Artis will shrug and say, there might be a chance that those wards worked and they went to the evocation department. I'm not entirely certain, but the two of you feel okay?
Yeah, I mean, more or less.
I could feel a little better, but I'm
Yes.
doing okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, go if you want to go grab some of their drink and bring it for the other two. By all means, I will wait outside for you.
Okay. Thanks, Artis. Hey, did you, because I wasn't really paying attention because I was fighting,
Yes.
did you see if Delnis came back into the gala room at any point, or
Hmm.
was she...
After the whole ordeal with her father, no, I didn't see her. Why? Is everything okay?
Yeah, of course, everything's fine. I was just curious, because I was curious if she saw the fight, because, I was just wondering. Okay, so she's around. Got it. Thank you, Artis.
Is everything all right, Mira?
Yeah, we kind of had a fight, and, I feel really awful, and I wanna talk to her, and I wanna find her, but I don't know if she even wants to talk to me right now. And then with everything happening with her parents, there's that, and I don't, the festival's almost over, and I don't want to end winter break on bad terms, and I really want to talk to her, and
He puts
Yeah,
a
it's-
hand onto your shoulder and will look you in the eyes, Mira, and he will say, there should be half an hour or so before the next duel. Go find her and speak with her.
okay,
Don't
thank you, Artis.
Let the night end without at least speaking about it.
I won't. Thanks, Artis.
Yes, of course. Good luck with that.
I give him a thumbs
And
up.
he makes like a very neutral face at you, and you can rush out if you'd like, Mira.
Yeah, I'll grab a couple like healing potions for my
Yes,
friends
you walk
beforehand.
up to the general healers. They're in like a semicircle around a little boiling cauldron, and you just kind of like poke on in and grab a couple mugs full of it, and they'll all just watch you. You hear one of them whisper to the other and say, "That's the girl who took the other one and like left the stretcher in the middle of the road." And they both just look at you for a second. And then when you
I
meet
smile.
their eyes, yeah, you smile and like look at them, and they will completely avert their eyes, not wanting to like kick the beehive or anything. And you can rush out of there with a couple cups of healing potion, Mira. And as you exit in onto the campus, where do you want to go, or do you have a plan for finding Delnis, or are you just gonna hope for luck that you run into her?
Well, I know that Adeline had invited Elric on a little walk, kind of in that. It was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it sort of like that gardeny area near the gala room?
Generally, I guess they could have walked anywhere on campus, honestly. But you could go and try to find them in that garden area if you would like.
Okay. I'm in that case just going to like push the healing drinks into Winsler's hands and be like, I'll catch up with you. I'll see you soon. Let our friends know I said congratulations. I'll be right back. See ya.
All right, I'll see you later. Be safe.
Got
You
it.
see,
I can't really see as he walks towards the gala.
Yeah. Winslow, you have two lovely mugs full of raspberry-smelling potion in your hands. Artis walks beside you, and Mira rushes off to be a romantic person. Artis will kind of like, after a few moments of silence, say, "So, how's the gala going for you?"
Well, my dancing skills are a little bit left to be desired, but I think it's going okay. I think Charlotte is having a good time. I think maybe.
If you're not great at dancing and she's still hanging around and having a great time with you, then I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be going great, Winsler. I mean, dancing's difficult. It's a kind of something you need to work at, and if you're not naturally great at it.
I tried to get some help from everybody else, but I feel like I came out a little bit worse off than I did going in.
I've been there myself. It takes time and practice. I would recommend, if it's something you want to get better at, just a couple minutes every night in the morning sometimes. I typically would do it in the mornings. On like good days, years ago. I don't know if I'm any good at dancing anymore, though. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad to hear your gala experience is going great. I've been sitting with all of your parents, and they've been badgering me a bit, or just chatting my ear off about farms and shoes and such things. But
Did they tell you about the cows?
I've heard about the cows. Yes.
They love talking about the cows.
It's been a constant source of conversation, Winsler.
It's definitely amusing.
And he stares up into the sky and heavily exhales as the two of you walk back together towards the gala venue, Winsler.
And silence.
You with a dumb little smile on your face, and Artis a bit more stressed.
Oh, I missed this.
Integrity Idleberry and Serenepth Cinderman at the gala venue. The two of you, one of you, a tiefling holding a icy trophy filled with gold coins, and the other very tall human concealing your hair and general everything, approach Amaret Idleberry and Integrity, your two twin siblings, who are looking quite delighted themselves. As you do walk up, Integrity, your younger brother, looks at you for a second and goes, "When you jumped into the hole, I didn't really get it. But I'm glad it really worked out for everything." And then he turns to Sereneth and goes, and puts his hands together. And he'll look up at you, these cute little eyes, this little tiefling boy, and he'll say, "Thank you so much for blasting lightning into everyone. I came to this school, and that's all I ever wanted to see. And it was very cool, and thank you so much."
She puts her hand on his shoulder. She said, "I did it for you."
He smiles mightily and looks at his sister, a smug face, and he goes, and he just like stares at her, and she looks kind of like nonplussed, to say the least. Regardless, though, Amaret will clear her throat and kind of like put a hand on Ernest's shoulder and kind of like to get him to chill the fuck out for a second, and she will kind of usher the group of you off towards a kind of isolated table nearby, as if and take a seat, and the rest of you can take a seat. You two can take a seat there as well. And as she does so, she puts the mask that she was wearing, just like a silvered mask, nothing super adorned or ornamented, as most of the common folk are wearing these kind of plain masks here at the gala. She places it on the table, and you can hear the cheering for duels in progress in the background, the two of you. And Amaret will look at you, Serenepth, and kind of just start taking everything in. Like, I think most of the other times you've been around Integrity's mother, you've been very, very clear about trying to conceal yourself, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think besides like that evening where like she was dressed in like her like common wear and like everything, and like at that point everything was kind of revealed, like at the dinner party, but at that point she was also like moving around so much to try and be like distracting of like, hey, here's like snacks, and here's like tea, and here's like
being a host and trying to not be
like,
perceived that much. Nonetheless, Amaret Idleberry does perceive you and will reach out a hand to like lay on top of yours if you would allow her. Like, I on top of the table with your hands folded in front of you, she'll lean forwards to like put a hand on yours.
She doesn't know what the conversation's gonna be. I think she's just like holding as still as possible to like clutching her hands like contained together on the table, and she's just like, okay, whatever's gonna happen's about to happen.
And Integrity, what are you doing? Are you just sitting here watching with like hesitation?
I'm going to sit close enough, just because like Integrity likes to hear the deets.
Absolutely.
But I think for the most part, like Integrity's staring out into the unknown and just like reflecting on what Joan said about like being unfair. Like thinking like in terms of like morally, like, was it wrong to use that to an advantage? Like, was it cheating to do that? Or is it just like tactics that is like within the bounds of the rules. So like
Yeah.
Integrity is just there like contemplating and thinking about it very hard.
Yeah. So, Integrity is thinking about that, and Serenap, you're kind of frozen in place. Amaret lays a hand on your kind of clasped hands, laying upon the table, and will look into your eyes and say, "So, for proper introductions, young lady Cinderman, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Amaret Idleberry, formerly Amaret Thornston. I recognized you from the first day that we met. It's a very distinct look. You remind me dearly of my grandmothers and my mother and aunts. And so, if you don't mind, do you know who I am? Or my relationship to you and your family?"
I do know the familial connection, and like she's not looking her in the eye. She can't like, and I don't know all the details. I was told so many different versions of the story, but I do know that there was a falling out.
Yes. That's an easy way to put it. Yes. Integrity, and she'll kind of turn and look at you, her daughter, and say, I'm sure your father might have told you something about this, but the full story is I, myself, was born into the Thornston family, and my mother planned to marry me off as a young, noble woman. And I hesitate to ask this before I continue with my story, young lady Cinderman. Serenepth, is it more comfortable if I call you that?
Yeah, yes, you may
I don't want to
call me,
overstep things. Serenepth, I take it that you're not enthused about this betrothal.
Is it that obvious?
And she'll smirk at that, and kind of her expression relaxes Serenep. I think you being so tense is making Amaret quite tense as well with this entire thing, right? Like, she initially reached out a hand to be like very motherly and being like, it's okay, let's have a pleasant chat. And you being very frozen about that kind of like forced out some formality from her. But as you crack some jokes, she smirks and will say, I was in your place, so it's fairly easy to know the signs. Not quite so high profile. I was betrothed to some Lord Pharaoh, not a man in the capital, but he had a castle and land and honors and titles. And my mother had promised me to him in the spring, if I recall. But we had money, and so I had the fortunes of traveling. I don't know if you've had such fortunes, but from what I assume, you might have been a bit more stuck than I was.
Yeah.
So I traveled a fair amount, and I found myself one fun autumn evening in the town of Dry Falls. It was cold and wet, and a friend of mine, I don't know what family she belongs to anymore, but at the time, young lady Maria, a very good friend of mine, who I regretfully don't have contact with anymore, the two of us kind of snuck out, and there was a carnival, a festival happening. Not unlike the festival here at the school, it's been a pleasant time thinking about youth in that way. And we snuck out together, and I met this young man who I think was everything from my dreams of marrying. And I think I realized then, Serenep, that I didn't want to go through with my marriage. I hadn't really thought about it before then. And then I met Desmond, my husband, and that very much changed. And I just wanted to be with him. And he was common. He was a shoemaker's son and talked my ear off about it for the entire night. But in the morning, I remember writing my mother a letter saying that I would be staying in Dry Falls with the Idleberry family, with Desmond, this man who I'd known for a night at that point. But I just knew. You get that feeling?
Yeah.
And they sent me, this is the falling out part. I sent that letter, and I expected Lord Pharaoh, my betrothed, to come riding into town. I was young and thought lords and all that were still knights in shining armor, but I've never heard tale of him again. He didn't come to try to win back my love or any affection, anything of the sort, just gave up, I suppose. But I did receive, probably a week later, a parcel from my mother, and it was a letter saying to wash the Thornston name from my blood, and there was a single piece of soap with it. And so I stayed in Dry Falls. Time passed, and now I have a wonderful family. My life is simple and easy, and I have a house filled with my wonderful children, and my daughter's here on her own path. And all I can say is that I wish that could have been the same for you, that you could have been born someplace different than you were. And I hope I don't overstep my bounds in saying that. But you remind me of myself at your age, and you remind me of my daughter, and you are family, even though I've not met you before, and you seem kinder than anyone else that I've met of noble birth. So I hope I don't overstep my bounds in saying all this to you.
She doesn't say anything. She just shakes her head like, no, you're not overstepping.
Okay. She'll kind of put her other hand onto yours, Serenep, and begin to kind of rub your hands in a comforting manner, in a kind of maternal way that I don't think you've ever felt specifically this before. So it might feel kind of strange to have someone showing just this like buckets of affection towards you.
I think like she doesn't mean for it to happen, but like her eyes start to well up. Like this is like the first like maternal like comfort she's ever really experienced.
When you do so, she will kind of scoot closer to you on her chair and kind of like put a hand on your shoulder and begin to rub and comfort you. And she will say, if it is okay, I would extend the offer. Don't tell your lord and lady parents this. I would extend the offer that if you are ever in the north in Dry Falls, you are free to stay with us for as long as you need, if you catch my meaning.
She like looks over to Integrity to like, I don't know, like get, like she doesn't even know what she's asking for, but she's looking for permission.
Follow whatever your heart tells you. I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. I know you'll make the best decision for you.
I think with Integrity saying that, Serenep just kind of reaches out and hugs Integrity's mom.
Absolutely.
Just like kind of like throws herself out of her chair, just hugs her.
Absolutely.
So tightly.
Yeah. She will hug back gently, and it's a very nice and loving embrace, Serenep. And after a few moments, she will, after a few moments of this nice hug, you can sit back into your chair and compose yourself. And Amaret will turn to Integrity. That matter having been dealt with, Serenep, in her mind, she will turn to you, Integrity, and say, so, congratulations on winning that duel. Do you mind if I take some of your winnings to pay for the dress and, the, 50-some gold that we sent you through the school year? All that stuff?
Of course. How much is that? Can you write that down, please?
Oh, do you need a receipt?
Do I get a discount?
No, I'm gonna. We should probably charge a bit extra. And she looks over to you, Serenep, and she goes, "Probably charge a bit extra, just because I remember getting 3 or 4 letters asking for money. You took some away. You already had savings, so maybe charge a little interest on all the stuff we gave you at the start of the year."
Wait, Mom.
Serenep looks at like Integrity, like, what on earth,
Mom?
Were you? What was all that money for?
Aren't you proud of me? I did so well.
And so we can zoom out from that scene and say that the 3 of you can joke around. Your mother doesn't actually take any of your money, just as a note. But we'll
what is yours is mine now.
But we'll just generally chat and try to lighten the mood after that whole shit. At this point, Winsler, you and Artis can return to the gala. Where did you want to go, Winsler?
I guess I should try and look for my friends.
Absolutely.
Scan the room for them.
Easy endeavor. You can find the 2 of them sitting with an unmasked Idleberry at a table off in the corner of the common area. You hear people hooting and hollering still for the duel that's ongoing. Winsler, when you walk by, it seems like they are 2 7th years remaining, and 1 6th year is trying to hold their own,
Oh, shit.
but is just absolutely getting blasted with stuff.
Oh, God.
Nonetheless, you walk over to the Serenepth and Integrity and Integrity's mother. The twins are like sitting nearby on chairs, like idly chatting to one another about shit.
Idle burying.
And you can present the small mugs of potion for them.
I brought some potion from the infirmary. I don't know how y'all feel about raspberry. It's got a hint of that in there. I'm not a fan of it, but it should put a little bit more spring in your step.
Well,
That's
Thank
perfect. I love raspberry. Unless
Sure.
they have mold in them, then that's very disgusting.
Why are you saying that as I'm drinking it?
I'm just making
No,
sure
no.
that everyone knows what my preference is. And I'm
that's
going to glug it.
Yeah, that's 4
Make a
D8.
mental note. Integrity does not like mold.
A very
coward's
uncommon
preference.
trait. Apparently my D8s are doing very well today.
I'm
Five-
glad some of us are.
that
5
was
plus
me
2
earlier.
plus 7, 14, plus another 7, 21.
Chill. The math section.
I
of the
have
podcast.
30,
Added.
like my birthday.
So you all can heal for the amount that you do heal from these wonderful drinks. There's a bit of something in there that's not quite healing potion, but it's hard to pick out. It might just be some fun seasoning that they added. Seasoning,
Just straight up.
Funfetti.
funfetti that they added. Who knows? There's some texture. There's some weird tastes. A bit of burning after. Who knows? But you
Cinnamon
all
red
can
hot.
sit
One
here.
shot of vodka.
You all can sit here and chat for a little while, or watch the duels, or whatever you do feel like doing. But there's a more important thing to be dealt with right now, which is Mira Marchand.
Hi, I'm Mira.
Hi. You are wandering around the area near to the gala venue, looking for hide nor hair of the Wraithrons, if I'm to
Or
be
footprints in
understood.
the snow.
Or footprints in the snow. It is. Ooh, it should be snowing. That's a good idea.
It's never good when it's snowing.
Make for me a investigation check in that
Okay.
case.
That is a 9 plus 3. I forgot I'm proficient in that. That's a 12.
Fascinating. There's a very interesting. I don't think you find footprints because they have been bulldozed, as it were, by what looks like a set of wheels that might belong to a piano that was pushed along these pathways, following after a group of people. But you can follow the piano trail, which is quite obvious. And that winds its way through the passages of Wildcliff as if two lovers were taking a long and meandering walk together. And it makes its way back to the music department, Mira, which is a bit more inland on campus, as it were, interior.
Okay.
And the piano is parked out front with a big wooden cover over the top of it. No sign of Simone, the turtle. However, near one of the windows nearby, there is a half-elf in a dress and a wide-brimmed hat with some veil over it, trying to peek through windows and try to look into the music department. Delnus Wraithrin seems to be not wanting to enter the music department, but is rather snooping through windows.
Okay. I think if I can tell she's snooping, how far away is she from me?
How far do you want her to be from you? This is up to you. You can see her from a ways away.
Okay. I'm gonna come a little bit close to her, enough that I'm not immediately walking up to her, but if she were to turn and look, she'd know I was there. And I'm going to cast message, and I'm going to point to her, and I'm gonna be like, Delnus, it's me, it's Mira. I'm really sorry about everything. I can tell you're eavesdropping. That's why I'm doing this quietly. If you want me to go, I'll go. But I would really like to talk to you.
When you cast message upon your girlfriend, you see her, she's kind of trying to peek up through windows, being very discreet, and there's a quick flinch as the message is received, and then her head kind of drifts down, and you can hear a kind of faint sigh, and she'll just turn and look back at you with these heavy eyes, and will say aloud to you, what do you want to say?
mostly I just want to say sorry. I didn't mean to. I know that I hurt you back there, and I was just honestly really scared, Delness, and I don't want it to be like this. I don't want to be on bad terms. If I don't want to tell you what to do. I fucked that up, and I'm sorry, and I just is everything okay? What's going on?
She stares at you for 5-6 seconds, Mira, just in silence. Snowflakes falling upon your hair and skin and then melting quickly. And the same for Delmas. Both of you just kind of locked, looking at one another. And she'll do a very slow blink and bite her lip for a second. And let me roll a die. And she will turn back to the window and peek, and then turn back to you and say, I'm not 100% certain my parents were just walking around for what felt like forever, and then they went into his office and closed the door. So I don't know what's happening. But Sereneth told me to keep an eye on them, and you said you're nervous around my mom, and she's not. I don't know why the two of you are so scared of her. It's not like she's going to do anything.
Look, Delmas, I can explain further if you want me to, but if that's not something you want to hear right now, I understand.
We can talk about it another time. I just want to make sure that, like, I know my dad's going to be fine, but what Sereneth said freaked me out a lot, and I don't want to just barge in there and ruin things, or like go and be like a kid eavesdropping at your parents' door. But and she just carries on like this. Mira, what do you want to do?
Okay. And I'm going to like come up a little bit closer and sort of close the distance between us. And
yes.
I'm gonna say, okay, if you want to listen, 4 ears are better than 2. I can disguise us as other people if that's something we need. How about right now? We don't need to talk about tough stuff, but I'll help you listen in, and the second duel we won, by the way, is in about half an hour.
Is that bragging? Did you just try to?
Hey, I told you we'd beat Joan, didn't I? I did get knocked out. I'm making it sound cooler.
Make
than
an
it was.
insight
It was
check.
very
Make an
embarrassing.
insight check for me. Make an insight check for me.
Okay. That is an 18 plus 3. That's a 21.
You see her eyes quickly look you up and down in some sort of like appraising way. Yeah. An affectionate way, we could say, when you do boast a bit, Vera. But she quickly pushes that back away, and she'll say, yeah, just disguise us quick, and we can go stand at the door for like 5 seconds, and then you can go back to the gala, and yeah, just do that. Just do it.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to cast Disguise Self, and I can actually only use that on myself. I can't actually use it on Delmas, but I will disguise me.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna look like some guy. Nobody in particular.
Me. What does he look like? People need to know.
Oh, of course, you're right. Absolutely. I'm going to disguise myself to look like Syndra Sunfire.
Oh, now, Sarah, that is not just some guy.
I know. When you asked me to actually disguise it, I changed my mind.
Syndra. Okay. So, Mira, you now appear to be a short, blue-skinned tiefling with orange hair. You got 6 sneakers on, and Delnis looks down at her. She looks at her own reflection in the window and sees that she does not change, and will look at you kind of like expectantly and say, "What about me?"
I forgot I can't do that. But I did disguise myself, and, is there anything I can do?
Put a cloth over her.
If you guys put on a trench coat, one big trench coat, you can pretend that you're just one tall person.
That's true.
Or put her in a gurney and pretend that she's dead.
If you're just gonna go in there by yourself and then
what I
tell me that I'm like, Mira, if what you're saying is like true or something, they're talking about something bad behind that door, I want to hear it for myself. I don't want to take your word for it. I'm sorry.
No, I totally get it. Well, we can at least listen in together. I'm
sure.
sorry again, Delmas.
Yeah. No, let's just go. And she'll stand up now. You mended a little bit, and then you're like, you won't be hot. And then she doesn't have a disguise now, so she is back to being a bit bitter at you. And
That's
so
fair.
she can stand up and herself walk through the doors to the musical applications of magic department. Could you, Mira Marchand,
Yes.
as you walk in, disguised as Syndra Sunfire, you walk with your girlfriend, kind of distantly, quietly, towards Elric Rathrin's door, his office door. Are you just going to stand there and put an ear to it?
I think that I'm going to be kind of like, I think I'm going to crouch like near the door, like not standing directly by it, but kind of directly, kind of next to it and crouch down.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Yes, I can absolutely.
And I would give you advantage for being disguised, but I would also give you disadvantage for Delnus not being disguised. So it just
That's
comes
fair.
out in the wash.
Evens out. I can
Yeah.
get that.
Normal.
That's another 9 + 5 for a 14.
Ooh.
You can hear the loud voices or a loud voice coming from the other side of this door, which is Elric Rathrin. And you will hear him say, I've really enjoyed this evening with you, my love. It's been lonely without you, and I knew this would work. I just knew it would work. And you hear a quiet chuckle, dry, coming from what would likely be Adeline Rathrin. And you hear a sip of a glass, I guess, and you would hear her reply and say, I can't lie to you and say that this wasn't at least a small bit pleasant. But I do confess that I had better intentions for your song, your performance. I was hoping it would be a bit worse. And you hear him laugh, kind of thinking it's a joke, and kind of saying, building himself up. You hear him to start building himself up as a performance, or a performer of oh, well, it's just been so many years, and I'm sure I lost my muse for a few, so the performances weren't as spectacular as they used to be, my dear. And she says, I'm sure, Elric, everything's been kept safe and secret, correct? And after a short pause, you hear Elric say, so far, I've kept it close to me and safe for as long as I've had it. But I have to find somewhere else to live in the coming year, so I'll have to find somewhere else to keep it safe. But I'm sure that will be no problems. And you can hear shifting of people on a couch, Mira. Or on a seat, not a couch, I guess. Just the shifting of people sitting on leather chairs. And Adeline, through this door on the other side, in Elric Rathrin's office, will say, if you can't keep it safe any longer, I would ask that you give it back. The Lady of the Woods keeps a closer watch over her attendants now than she did years past, and would like assurances kept close at hand. I'm sure you understand. Elric will reply and say, I assure you I can keep it perfectly safe. It'll be in no danger. I could keep it here in my office or somewhere. And she'll interrupt him and say, no, that will not do. When Delnus comes and visits me over the winter, send the lamp along with her. There are rituals and rites which I must perform on it. Nonetheless, regardless of the security of the item. And as for Delnus herself, and at that point, there's a shifting outside the door, Mira, as your 15 is not quite satisfactory for a stealth roll to hear this entire conversation. Tell me, what is it that gives away the goat? What reveals that there are people outside the door?
I think that Mira is kind of just paying very close attention to this conversation, and she's paying too close attention to the conversation to be thinking completely straight. And so her initial instinct is to cast message on Delnus and be like, hey, are you okay? But I think, not really thinking, she whispers it instead.
Oh, no.
No.
And
I'm scared.
And as Adeline begins to say what she was saying, she pulls in her breath, and there's just silence from the other side of the door, Mira. And she will say, "If you'll excuse me, Elric, I think there are people outside." And you hear footsteps approaching the door, Mira Marchand. What would you like to do?
Mira gets up, and I think she sort of gestures to Delmas to follow her, and I think that she just kind of scuttles like down the hallway to turn a corner, hopefully trying to get there before Adeline can open the door.
Absolutely. You rush around the corner and push yourself tightly against these stone walls and pull Delnis around the corner with you, and she is close to you and gripping your arm now. And you hear the door creak open in the hall, and someone step out. Adeline looks right and left, and you hear the door creak closed, and you hear her kind of call out and say, "Hello, is someone there?"
I do not respond, but I'm just looking over at Delnis, a little bit of panic in my eyes now.
You hear, let me roll die. You hear footsteps. Mira, next to you, you hear Delnis a bit out of breath from sprinting down the hallway, breathing heavily. And after 2 or 3 seconds of silence, Adeline Raithrin, her ears pick up on that heavy breathing, that panting, and you begin to hear steps making their way towards the two of you.
I point to Delnis.
Yes.
And I say, "Go turn the corner. I'm disguised. I'll cover for you." I'm whispering in my head, even though I'm casting
Yes.
message.
Delnis looks at you. Make a persuasion roll.
Okay. That is a 10 plus 8, 18.
Okay. She looks at you. Her brow furrows, but then she will nod and run down the length of this hallway and hide behind the next corner.
Okay.
And as she does so, you're watching, and as she rounds that corner, you hear footsteps creep up upon you, and a hand is placed on your shoulder. But you're currently under the effects of the disguise self spell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have changed my height, but that the physical
that's
interaction
perfectly fine.
might
That's
still.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
As long as the height is fine, I don't think she would think too
Yeah.
much of it, and she'll go,
Okay.
"Hello, good evening. Can I help you? Are you lost?"
No, sorry. I'm just here. I just finished putting up posters upstairs. Didn't mean to.
And you're alone?
Yeah.
Were you eavesdropping on me, girl?
No.
And she looks down at you with a steely gaze, Mira. One that, even when you were, visibly Mira Marchand, there was not this much ice in this stare. Her glamour is absent, her skin tight, her hair thinned, and her eyes gaunt. You heard nothing?
I heard people talking, but I didn't hear what anybody said. I
Make
was
a
just walking down
deception.
this way to leave.
Make a deception check with advantage.
Okay. With advantage. Oh!
God.
Ha! I don't need that advantage, but I'm
Chill.
gonna roll with it anyway, because that is a nat 20, and the second roll is a 4. So deception is a... What is my deception? 28.
Chill. That's a lot.
So that's 48?
Unfortunately, I know the DC was 30. No, 28, Carla.
Let me read something.
Okay.
28.
Yeah.
Adeline goes to the ground and cries, "I'm so sorry for trying to blame you."
Okay. She pulls her hand off of you and says, "Oh, my earnest apologies then. Are you a musical applications student?"
No, I was just here to put up some posters about freeing the golems. Usually this
Oh.
building's too busy to...
course.
Are you interested in freeing the golems?
I can't say it's crossed my mind. There's more pressing things to think about. You should run along. You never know what might happen to people alone on this campus. It's been a dangerous year, I'm sure you've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Nice threat.
Run along.
Yep. And I think Mira is going to head in the other direction, hoping that will be enough to placate Adeline. She's not going to go toward Delnis because I think she is a little bit worried that Adeline might follow her. And so I think she's going to make her way toward the exit of the building.
Wonderful. So as you do make your way towards the exit hastily, Adeline's quiet footsteps do follow you. And if you were to turn your head at all, Mira, as she does walk down the hallway, you would see in her left hand, just barely poking out of her sleeve, there is a titanium rod in her hand, which she seems to have pulled out while speaking to you, while she had her right hand on your shoulder. A similar scene to what you might have remember when you were in the necromancy department
Alma Alaro, yes.
With Alma Alaro, Professor
Great.
Alaro. Nonetheless, as you turn and look at her and exit the building, she will wave gracefully with her right hand, and a very empty kind of expression across her face. And then she will enter back into Professor Elric's office.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes. What do you want to do now?
I think that I figure that I'll have to reunite with Delmas elsewhere because there's no way to really run back into
Of
her
course.
without being very conspicuous.
Yeah.
So I think that Mira might make a quick detour to like do her outfit change for part 2 of the thing. I think that'll
Is
probably
that in your room?
Yeah. Oh, this is the whole thing. I was just
This
gonna
is
say
a
it for
whole-
flavor.
Absolutely. Mira, you seizing the opportunity for a costume change, a pit stop, you rush back to your dormitory. You open the door, and a fragrant scent hits your nostrils.
Motherfucker.
Red
Oh,
flags.
no.
Red flags. everywhere.
Motherfucker. All right.
Smelly smell.
No.
What do you want to do?
Can I trace the source of this scent in any way?
The bathroom door has a small crack underneath, and that fragrant scent, as it fills your nostrils, seems to be wafting out from the bathroom.
I think that I'm going to. At this point, I've removed the disguise on myself now that I'm in
Absolutely.
my own dorm. I'm gripping on very, very tightly to my lyre, and I'm going to just inch up toward the door. You know when you're a kid and you're like, it's late at night and you're like going to the bathroom or something, and you just
Yup.
push the door open and you just like take a super quick step back in case anything comes out. I'm doing that.
You push the door open and take a quick step back, lyre in your hand, and the scent grows in magnitude, Mira. And no undead snake women jump out at you, though. Luckily, there's no one waiting on the bed. There's no urns to be seen. There is a slumped girl in your bathtub, though, who seems to be slick with sweat.
I want to check in with her. Is she injured in any way, or does she just seem to be having some kind of vision or dream?
Make a medicine check for me.
Okay. That's a 7 plus 1.
Her body's, there's small tremors going, like her hands will shake and her legs will kind of shake a little bit, and her skin is very clammy, Mira, and if you were to touch her at all and pull your hand away, her sweat is what seems to be making that smell.
Ew.
Okay.
And she wasn't
Interesting.
sweating badly like this when you brought her here. This seems to be new. A new
Okay,
development,
so
as
her
it were.
sweat is starting to smell like orchids. That's a very bad sign. I'm going to attempt something. I, Sarah, don't think it'll work, but I do think it's what Mira is going to try,
Yes.
which is that she's going to like gently place a hand on Angelica's shoulder, and she's going to actually cast a message, and she's going to say, "Hey, are you okay? Or can you hear me in any way? What's going on?"
You, Mira Marchand, place a hand upon Angelica's shoulder. You cast message upon her. You ask this question. And can you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
Oh, goodness gracious. Of course I can make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, what the hell?
Is it another
I
nat
swear
20?
to God, I'm not
Oh
fucking
my
with you.
goodness.
I swear to
God.
fucking God.
Oh
That
my
is another
goodness.
natural 20 plus
What
nothing.
a die. Okay.
That's 20.
So 20. In that case, take 4 psychic damage.
Ugh,
Oh my
as
gosh.
Yeah.
words pierce back into your head almost immediately as soon as that message ends. Normally there's a small delay when you send a message and someone like thinks on the other end and sends something back. This time, the moment your message ends, or even right before it ends, you just get back a piercing thought in your head that's just help.
I might have to take more damage because I want to communicate with her. So I think that I'm going to take that risk for myself. I'm going to keep the physical contact. With my other hand, I'll just bring it up to my forehead in pain. I'm going to suck in a deep breath, and I'm going to cast message again, and I'm going to say, "What do you need?"
We'll let that 20 ride. In this case, take 3 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then what you receive when you send this takes a few more milliseconds to get. It's not that instantaneous kind of answer. And Mira, what you hear this time is more hushed, and it's Angelica's voice, and she whispers back to you, "I don't know where I am. I'm lost. It's an old ruin of something, and I'm stuck, and I'm trapped, Please help me."
Okay. I think that I am going to keep the physical contact again. I'm going to say with message again. I'm taking the hurt. I'll accept it. I want to speak to her. I'm going to say, "Okay, hey, everything's going to be okay. Your body is here in my dorm. This is Mira Marchand. We have people taking care of you. You are probably in some kind of vision of Shiora. This has happened to me. I don't know. I know that message doesn't have a word limit. I imagine I'll probably have to cast it a few times because sending has a word limit. I'm going to say, "This happened to me. What I did is I had to find some dust. I had to eat it, and that took me out of the vision. I don't know if you can find some, but that might work for you. That might be able to bring your body back here. Your body is safe. We're taking care of you. Everything's going to be okay."
What you hear back is, "I can't get out. There's something. There's things here, shadows here. I don't know how to get out. I can't get out. I'm stuck. I'm underneath the ground. I don't know where to go."
Underneath the ground. Oh, interesting. I think that I'm going to say, "Okay, if you can find any urns, any jars, anything like that, you might be able to find what you want there. Delnus is working on some kind of potion that can let us astrally project. We might be able to reach you that way. Just stay safe, okay?
Yeah.
We'll reach you. We'll bring you out of here."
Side note, for the last one, take 7 damage.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay.
And then for this one that you just sent, take 3.
7 and 3. Okay, so 10. So I'm at 9 hit points right now.
Oof. Okay.
Yikes.
That last message, you do not get a response. You hear heavy breathing in your head, which still has that piercing quality to it, like it darts into your brain, and it's just heavy, heavy breathing, like someone is running.
Okay. I think that realizing that I might not be able to communicate further with Angelica right now, I'm just going to wrap the blanket that she has on her a little bit tighter, and I'm going to just take some water and a cloth and just dab some of that sweat off of her forehead, knowing that it won't do much, but just trying to do something. And
yeah,
I think that I'm going to leave her there in the bathtub and change, and very frazzled and shaken now, I'm going to return to the gala area and find my friends.
Wash off some of the sweat from her. Hearing that breathing, that ragged breathing, and like almost the fear in her voice of what she said, what she sent to you, Mira. Watching her, the like small tremors in her legs and arms now, it almost looks like a person who... Have you ever seen like an animal running in their like a dream, right? And like their body's moving a little bit. It looks exactly like that. Or like when you fall in a dream and your body jerks. It looks like she's trying to run and her body's stopping her because she's not, here. Nonetheless, you do this. You take a moment and breathe and calm down yourself. Change into a new dress. And which one are you changing into?
Yeah, so the one I'm
What do we see? What do we see when Mira Marchand returns to the gala venue?
Okay, so Mira's going to be wearing that silver dress with a little bit of glitter. It's the one that is described as having a belt separating the top and bottom part, with the dress being very long and flowy at the bottom. It has one shoulder strap on the right shoulder, and I think that Mira is wearing she's wearing a set of white gloves that reach up to her elbows, but she's had to cut one of the fingers off the other glove, the pinky. So it's one of the gloves doesn't fit too perfectly, but the other one does. And I think that she has she's kept the snowflake earrings, and she's cleaned herself off a little bit. So she's in this flowing silver dress and these white gloves.
Okay. Wonderful. So, Mira, you enter. You can take a quick glance across the gala venue. The duel has ended, just for everyone's record. The 7th years came out on top. Barely. It was a one sole survivor kind of situation. They look, for your just information, for those of you who were here and might have been watching, they looked quite a bit beat up. So they might not be doing too good going to the next duel. Use that to your advantage if you want. But you guys are also not doing well as you see Mira Marchand enter into the gala venue looking very not great and make her way over towards the rest of you.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
What happened?
Oh, nothing. I'm totally fine. Just had a close encounter with Adeline, and hopefully Delness is okay. And also spoke to a certain person who is in the bathroom. We can talk about that later. I don't think this is the right place for it. But I heard that you guys won your duel, so congratulations. That's so amazing, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah, there's the
I'm proud of
the big
us.
trophy sitting on the table here, Mira.
Is she okay?
No, but I found a way to communicate with her. It's bad for me, but it can work. She said she said she was underground in an old ruin. And so I think that when Delness finishes distilling that potion that can let you astrally project, we might be able to get to her that way.
Okay. Like the fact that you even we'll talk about it later. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. We'll deal with that. I'm really proud of you guys. I might not be much help in this next duel because I'm a little bit rough, but
Tell me about it.
yeah. I get how you're feeling now, Winsler.
Yeah.
I mean, taking inventory between the four of us right now. Like, I know that like I feel like I don't have a lot of access to my stronger magic right now, and like that raspberry drink, whatever it was, like really it helped, but like I'm not like 100%. I don't even think I'm 50% right now. Like,
Yeah. Looks like those guys are the same though, so at least there's that.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I can heal some of you guys up a little bit before the fight, but then I might not be able to. I guess you could say I'll be exhausted for the fight, so it's really up to you guys.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a downer or anything, but like we like just scraped past
Yeah.
this most recent fight, and like I honestly like the fact that we've gotten this far. I'm like, obviously I'm still gonna like try and fight and win, but like if we don't make it, like we still did like amazing this year.
Runner up.
Yeah,
still
you're right.
runner up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First years.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Come
Yeah.
so
We
make
far.
history.
Unstoppable next year.
And look at how much money we've got.
Yeah, Integrity
That's a
pulls
shit
her-
ton of
pulls
money.
her head out of the trophy
Oh, yeah.
and says, "Look how much
Whoa.
money we have," and like pushes the trophy forwards. Yeah, 955
Are we just like
gold
splitting this
pieces.
4 ways or what?
I took the last one like just to get my materials, so I don't think I really need any.
The
You
last
actually took
one.
the last one. You guys have a bunch
Yes.
of gold at this point. The accounting
Okay.
can be
Well,
done
like-
at a certain point in the future. You guys
Account-
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we can like sit down, like we can have like a sit down in my room if we want and use the table.
Artists
and we can
are
like
artists
discuss
is our
it then.
Yeah, let's deal with
Artist is
that.
our accountant.
So you all sit here making idle chat.
Good
Serenip,
one.
your ear wiggles a little bit as you hear a name getting called from afar. Like the other side of the gala
What?
venue, you hear a couple people say, "Serenep, Serenep, Serenep, Lady Cinderman." And then you hear a booming voice from a person you're not a fan of, but no, that says,
Oh god.
Lady
Uh-oh.
Cinderman, Lady Cinderman, as a
Uh-oh.
well-dressed,
Oh,
a
God.
well-dressed herald begins to wander the gala venue, searching for you. It seems that there's a conversation ongoing on the other side of the gala hall
Oh
for you.
god. Serenep is unconsciously starting to slide under the table again, as she did once before.
Yes.
Like, oh god, I can't. Oh no. Like,
Are you gonna try to run from your responsibilities?
like they just saw us have our duel and everything. Like
Mhm.
they know I'm in the area.
They do.
And like the herald yells so loud
does.
all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna like start sliding down, and then I'm gonna put my hands on the table
Mhm.
and stand up, and I
Absolutely.
say, I'm either going to be forced into a marriage tonight, or I'm gonna jump into something and we'll never see each other again. These are the points that I've reached today.
Well, here's hoping for the latter.
Hell yeah.
Here's
Okay.
hoping I'll never see you again. Serenep, you courageously stand up from the table, take a deep breath, and can approach the herald, the Cinderman family herald, with nobility and grace. He, upon seeing you stride towards him, recognizes, after some time, your general appearance, and probably only after you walk up to him and speak to him does he know who you are. Such is the power of illusion.
Yeah, I think she'll like hands in front of her, like neatly folded, head held high, back straight, walks over and goes, Harold, there's no need to continue announcing I am here.
My Lady Cinderman, your Lord Father would like to speak with you. He says, sent me to find you. So
I see.
If you will follow me, so that I might keep the others away. Very well, let's go. And he will turn on his heels and chunk, march you, Serenepth, regrettably, to a long table over here on the noble side of the gala venue. There are probably close to like 80 people at this table in general. It's a big fucking table. I don't know if I've stressed that very much, but this is quite massive. And he will march you to where your father and mother sit side by side in high-backed, very nice icy chairs. And he will stand at attention, and say, Lord Cinderman, now presenting your lady daughter, gathered from her duels and general consorting with contemporaries. And then he will bow deeply. And he just remains bowed for the entirety of the rest of this conversation.
I curtsy
You
in
curtsy.
greeting to my parents.
Your parents both turn in their chairs and will look at you. And your father will say, congratulations on your victory, daughter.
Thank you, Father.
And he'll look around at the other nobles and like general other people. People are all having their minor conversations with people sitting next to them, and will smile charmingly, ice cold but charmingly, at the others, and then will lean in towards you, such that only you and your mother can hear what he says. And he will say, what foolishness are you trying to pull with the prince? I've just been told that there is to be there's word of expediting a marriage. What foolishness are you trying to pull?
I simply asked how he came to know me so well, since we have not seen each other in person for a very long time, and he seemed to talk himself into an early marriage.
So you had nothing to do with this? This was all you want me to believe. And he starts to like raise his voice for a second, but then lowers it once more. He says, you want me to believe that the Prince Frederick came to this of his own accord? That you had no role in pushing him towards this?
She's always like tried to be very like professional and like higher up, but this is a moment of like, I'm talking to my dad right now.
Yeah.
Like I tried to just, because I genuinely, he just started talking about it, and I tried to bring him down, and he left the dance to come up here. I don't know what happened after that.
Your mother will chime in and say, and you didn't think it worthwhile to follow him to see where the idea would lead to?
I will admit that I panicked in the moment, and then the announcement for the duel had been given, and the song entertainment that had occurred.
My daughter, you understand that there is decorum and tradition to be observed with these things, yes? To rush a royal marriage would be a travesty, I think. More so than anything, everything that your father and I worked for to try to raise the status of our family would be ruined by you rushing headstrong into a marriage with this man. Make it seem like some passionate tryst as opposed to a genuine marriage.
I did not push this. I tried to explain rationally what this would look like during this party, and he walked away from me. I didn't know what to do.
Your father will put his hand onto yours, still sitting in his chair, put his hand onto yours, Serenepth, and he will look into your eyes, a very stern expression on his face, his long face. Up so close, Serenep, you can see just the smallest hint after a long day of sitting and moving and sweating a little bit. You can see just the barest hint of a bit of makeup, similar to what you yourself wear on your face and elbows and such things, that to cover up your scales. You see the barest hint of that on your own father's face as he leans in close to your own, and he'll say, I would go present yourself to our gracious king and queen and explain that this is not to your wishes and that their son is being foolish. Could you do that for us, for our sake?
Yes, Father.
Good. Now, see it done. And he leans back away and lets go of your hand.
She curtsies once again to them in farewell and makes her way down the table.
Absolutely, Serenep. As you walk the length of this table, looking at the very end where a wonderful king and queen are seated, you see noble humans and noble elves, all noble gnomes even, suffice it to say.
Nobles.
Counselors. Nobles.
God
Gosh. Serenep, you do see, and most of these people do not have masks on, and that's a very important fact. You walk by Alla Algrim, Lady of the Woods, and two guards in gilded armor kind of bristle as you walk past, just idly guarding their liege. And as you continue walking the length of this table, you do see, standing near to the king and queen, off to the side, like away, almost like looking for an opportunity to present himself, is a young man who has removed his own mask. He has yellow glowing eyes, Serenep, and looks to be very pensive, as you see Philip Maisel here, not really vibing with the whole masquerade thing, like, come on, dude, but nonetheless, he is there.
One skill, one theme of this party and ruin it.
So if you'd like to delay speaking with the king and queen for a moment, at the risk of maybe looking a bit, you can go speak with Philip, or you can just go and talk to the king and queen and ignore that fool.
I will never ignore that sad boy.
Sure.
How dare you?
What would you like to do in that case, then?
If I glance back, what are my parents doing right now?
Your mother is watching you, and your father is chatting with a noble family across the table from him.
I think she will move in a way that will bring her next to Philip.
Absolutely.
But it'll look like she is
just standing,
waiting to
Absolutely.
speak with the king as well.
Absolutely. Would you like to say something to him? He looks over at you for but a second and then moves his head back to staring straight forwards, still deep in thought.
Can you believe we beat a bunch of fourth years?
I know, it was really cool. Great job.
Well, that was the most pleasant conversation I could think of at the moment.
How was dancing with the prince? He says through grated teeth. You're both talking in a very sly manner so that people around can't really tell. Quietly under your breath, just looking like you're waiting next to each other, but having a pleasant conversation. Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull something up here.
Absolutely.
Just because what better way to have a conversation and not be overheard than casting message on with each other?
Oh, this is the message episode.
Message episode.
I was about to make a joke about a message in a bottle going into a bottle episode, but it hasn't been a bottle episode.
I think message is probably the
And
most
this entire
cast
arc
spell.
has been a bottle episode.
Yeah.
She's going to because they asked that question.
Yeah.
And she'll say out loud, "Delightful," and she'll point to him and she'll go, I want to dance again. Ever.
He'll out loud say, I'm sure it was great. He looks to be a wonderful dancer. And responding to your message, he'll say, never with anyone again? Or just never with him again?
Oh,
I would be
phrasing.
more than happy to dance with another again, but I would much prefer it not be the prince.
He'll say out loud, my parents told me about some quick developments, and he'll glance over at you and say, is it true that he wants to get married tonight?
I think, just out loud, she says, yes, I've heard the same. And she'll cast
Yes.
2 conversations happening at once.
It's great.
Love
Cast
that shit.
on him
Yep.
and say, I asked him one question and he went down a rabbit hole and came out with, oh, we should get married as soon as possible. And no matter what I tried to do, luckily his parents and my parents both seem very scandalized at the idea happening tonight.
He will nod and out loud say, well, I wish the 2 of you good fortune whenever it does happen. And then responding to your message, he'll say, I'm glad cooler heads are prevailing. I'm contemplating doing something reckless, Sereneth.
I think she just kind of glances over, casts, what do you mean by reckless?
And he'll just bite his lip and look at you. And then as he begins to respond out loud, you hear a cough come from the nearby royal family as the King Frederick III, clears his throat and says, young Lady Cinderman,
She curtsies.
please, come here.
Get over here.
Get your ass
Come
in.
forward.
Come on.
Come on.
She
Come forward.
steps forward.
My fool of a son has informed me that he would like to marry you as soon as possible, and in his words, tonight.
When we had been on the dance floor, I inquired, because it has been a very long time since we last saw each other in person, how he had gotten to learn more about me. And when he answered, it cascaded into what he presented to you this evening. I tried to explain the steps that are traditionally in place, but he marched away.
The young prince is impatient. He's far too in love for something like this. A betrothal such as this should take time to breathe. It should run its course. However, if what he says is true and he is so badly in love with you even after a day of speaking with you, I assure you we tried to temper his expectations prior to meeting you, my dear. However, if it is to be his wish to marry you after such a short betrothal, I can't grant that for tonight, but you are coming back to the capital in the weeks to come, yes? That would adhere more closely with regular traditions. Families I would not like to offend would be able to attend. To do it here would be impractical, nonetheless. Despite such a wonderful venue for the ordeal, he'll say loudly at Headmaster Crow, who is seated down the table a few seats from him, and then turn back to you and say, if that is to be your wish, to be wed to your betrothed in such a short time, is the best I can do. The best I can offer for you.
I think she curtsies again, and she, as she plans out what she's going to say, and will stand again, and I may be deemed a bit old-fashioned that I cherish the old traditions, and as this is the first day that we have met each other once again, I also agree that there should be time that we get to know each other properly. If it is possible, I would like to talk with him in the moment. As you may have seen, it was fairly a rushed decision. I feel it would do himself and your image as well to give you the proper time to plan such a large event, that I may just talk to him today, explain things as they were taught to us, and then be able to guide him better, that we may once again have the wedding at the set time.
Make a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
As they both look at you appraisingly, Serenep, listening to your every word, watching your every mannerism.
Okay. Persuasion, don't fail me now. So that is a 12 plus 7, so 19.
The queen claps her hands and shakes her head gently and says, my dear, tradition is for betrothals between people who are not in love and require breathing room in order to acquaint with one another. In this case, our wonderful son is impatient, and his request for a marriage this very night cannot be met. But and she looks at you, and Serenep, you can very clearly tell she has gotten the wrong impression here, and she'll say, my king, you see the way she stumbles over her words, tries to think, and is absent of words for this. They're madly in love with each other. I think the two should be together as soon as we are able to. The event, my dear, don't worry at all. It will be no stress on your part, just meeting with those who are required. Myself and the household staff can manage the world, let alone a simple marriage over the winter. It would be beautiful. The gardens have wonderful sculptures this time of year, and I'm sure we could get some amount of flowers or ornaments done in a quick time before you probably arrive back at the capital. Oh, I'm so excited now.
Yeah.
I thought I would have to wait years for this. I'm glad to know that your parents were telling the truth when they spoke of your character, and I'm glad to know that we made a good choice between you and our son. And she'll reach out a hand to take yours, Serenep, if you would grab hers.
I'm not going to do anything to, like, ill-intend the queen. Like, yeah, she can take my hand.
Absolutely. She takes your hand and grips it tightly, and she says, I am glad to be becoming family with you, young Lady Cinderman, sooner, so many years sooner than anticipated. I hope that you do not become impatient waiting for the day of your marriage, and I hope that you can enjoy this evening relaxing with the prince and getting to know him all so much better. And she'll let go of your hand and lean back into her chair. Serenep, your marriage is now scheduled for winter break. So congrats on that one.
Disgusting.
People around take large drinks and clap a little bit for you. Those within earshot. Specifically, Crow nearby takes a very deep drink from his mug and will be looking at you with a happy expression. This is the one that denotes like, oh, I'm glad you're getting married, as he takes a big sip. And
can I like have like an eye? Crow is like one of the few people outside of the royalty and the nobles at this table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him, I need him to understand what's happening right now, and I'm gonna like look into his eyes.
You look into his eyes, and I won't even make you make an insight check for this one. You just see him drinking, taking a very deep drink to hide a smirk that he has on his face now. He has understood what you were trying to convey, and it seems that the royal family did not want to hear it, or misunderstood. Who's to say? But nonetheless, you are rebuffed, Serenep, and can walk away. The rest of you sit idly at a table on the other side of the gala. Music plays softly, and you recuperate in the 30 minutes as you wait for your next duel, which we'll pick up with next time on Trials and Trebs. Ben, could you hit us with an outro, please?
Sure, I'm going to hit you with an outro
Thank you.
now. If you all enjoyed this episode of Trials and Trebuchets, please leave a review and rating on our Apple Podcast page. It really helps us out a lot. We love hearing from you. It fills us with joy when we get to read all the cute little, like, nice reviews and stuff. It's very good. We also have social media pages, which you can find for Twitter and Instagram at Trials and Trebs. You can check out a whole bunch of interesting stuff there, such as teasers for upcoming episodes, some fan art, lots of cute things there. We also have a link to a Discord server in the description below, which you can click on and join and chat with a bunch of other folk who are fans of the show.
Yes.
It's a very chill place, very good to hang out.
It's a good place to hang.
And if you're feeling a little extra generous, we do have a Patreon page where you can subscribe to our many different tiers and gain interesting and lovely bonuses such as bloopers, maps, DM notes. You might even get to have a student NPC show up on the show. Who knows?
Yes.
And finally, we have merch!
Merchandise!
We got a cool store at trebmerch.com. We've got a cool t-shirt with Nesca on the back, Ascending. It's great.
Maybe relevant again.
We have a bunch of cool stickers made by lovely artists.
Yes.
One of which is Sam.
One of
and
which is
another
Sam.
a friend of ours.
Yes.
It's very good art.
They're
You
very
should
good
get
art.
Something.
You should
Get
go
some
hang
now.
out. You should go hang out. You should go check it out.
While supplies last.
While supplies last. Thanks for everyone for listening to this episode. Tune in next time for, I'm going to call the shot because I know, the last episode of this arc. So we'll see you next week. Bye. Until then,
Y'all
bye.
talking like fucking auctioneers.
Bye.
Bye.